Here, right there, act like she don't want to be on the show today because my guest is not going to be here till 5:15. But I am the assist, African support and strength, inspiration, and success together. Always shout out my queen, my co-host, my dog. Shout out to the Cannons. Shout out to my brother, Mildy Exec. The whole family, man. You know what I'm saying? The whole family. I'm definitely gonna be there this weekend. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely gonna pull up in the spot. Shout out to Glockaware, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Victoria Best and Miss Sarita. So I think Victoria is it Victoria versus Best and Miss Sarita? That's what I think it is. But the name of the show is West Philly Voices Broadcast. It came on today, 88.1, 94.1. You know, I'm on there talking about civic engagement. I didn't get to hear it. I was trying to hear it on my phone, but I missed it. Yeah, I was trying to hear it on my phone and I missed it. And she texted me and let me know that I was on. So hopefully they have a re-airing. I'm sure they do. Is it on NPR? It's 88.1 is NPR, I believe. You need to know what NPR is. If you want to know what's going on in the world, check out NPR, my guy. I appreciate you. But yeah, I gotta find out what station is on so I can listen to it. Even though I heard myself, talking about civic engagement, I remember what I was saying. You know what I mean? But I do want to hear it. But shout out to Victoria Best. We definitely gonna work together a lot more. Shout out to Sarita, my dog. This Sarita with the purple hair, because I know a few Saritas. And then, I always have to explain her as Sarita with the purple hair so they can know who I'm talking about. But they definitely be knowing who I'm talking about. And she always look out for a brother. Like whenever she got something going on and she see a spot for me where I can come and do what I do as a black man, like she always makes sure that I'm in the space, man. And she introduced me to a lot of dope people, Victoria being one of them. So shout out to that, man. Y'all calling me, people asking me to do they shows and talk about what I talk about. I was told that I suck all of the plane out of the room or all of the fun out of the room, but in a good way. And like, this boy come and get so serious. We was just drinking and smoking. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? We could go back to our regular scheduled program after I get this information out. You know what I'm saying? That's how we gonna do this. So I talked to POC yesterday. Shout out to POC. Real journalists, got a lot going on, working with Word. I was down at One Arc, right off of 52nd and Warren. I'm gonna post the video. Me and my niece gonna chop it up and edit it, but I didn't know One Arc was there. And it's a whole space, like you come into, a different world. Like I walked in there, it's a stage in this joint, recession stands in there, places to sit, like cafe places. They had chickens in this joint, a horse in this joint. I'm like, hold up, like, how y'all get all this stuff back here on 52nd Street though? And how I didn't know what was going on. And it's all African folk. They building tiny houses. They got, some storefronts going on, food, herbs, you know what we do when we really in a space. We sell clothes, we sell healing stuff, and we sell food. Seriously. That's what we be doing, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you get the money, food, clothes, and shelter. It's never going to change. And the real money is land. So I always got to tell y'all that. Look to get that real estate with your homies, get your own LLC together, buy a crib. Somebody use the credit, buy your crib. Why is you No, you have a job to do. Are you on your job? Did you get the link? And I need you to do what I need you to do. You got to send it. I noticed that you people like to watch stuff if it's sent to you. Did you get that? You got to work faster. Man, bro. I can't scream that out on, you know what I mean? But shout out to my man Stan, Farmer Stan. I think is Black Farmer Stan is his Instagram. He got the re-entry farm on 49th and Girard. We about to do some dope stuff down there. I love being a part of the beginnings of, black folk building and creating, because a lot of times we don't think that we can do it, or we don't think big enough, and this brother just took on this undertaking like, no, I got it. So now, we got to come and support our bro, you know what I'm saying? Support our brothers, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Stan, good looking out, shout out to Swarthmore College for providing the resources. for providing the resources, and you always got to have real conversations when you talking to like academics. People be thinking that business people is sharks. Nah, academics are sharks, yo. And it's crazy because when you call them on their shit, then they'll be straight up with you, like unbelievably blunt about everything that's going on. A businessman will keep trying to spin you. An academic be like, I could just tell you what this shit is. Fuck it, you court me. That's how they be. But it'd be funny because you be thinking these people come into these spaces very benevolent. Like, you're an academic. You want everybody to learn. Your whole thing is about education. Wrong. Not when the money's involved. Not when the fucking money. I could care less whether you learn a lot. As long as I get my check. And I'm going to use all the information that I've learned to get further and further up the ladder. And it's going to get further away from teaching people anyway. So what I would say to a lot of people who are academics, people who consider themselves to be smart, and we be asking the question like, how do you help people? How do you change things? How you change things is teach people how to critically think. That's what you do. Because you could bring a lot of resources into people who won't know how to utilize them if they can't critically think, if they don't see the importance of the resource that you bring in. And then, we get quick to be like, see, these niggas don't want nothing. Nah, critical thought is something that's taught. You're not born with common sense, as much as we like to say that. You're born with instincts. And some people instincts have them thinking a little more clear about things than others, but they still don't understand outcomes fully until you're taught about reason and logic. And then the other thing is like, don't play with people's identities, man. Don't be out here playing with people. You know this is an identity game. Y'all know it is. It's an identity game all day. What's up, Carlita? I thought you was coming down to the show, though. You talking about tapping that Cornerstone. I love Cornerstone. Even though I've been treated like, like I don't love Cornerstone the way I love Cornerstone. Because Cornerstone put me on the map for real. And people are asking me to do other things based off of what the center is doing. So, shout out to Carlita because, that was my dog, you know what I'm saying, running and gunning with me before the center. For all y'all who need that clarification. and all y'all that think all this shit going on that ain't going on. You worrying about the wrong shit. That is delusional. You think some shit is going on that's not going on, and you're running with this idea in your head that you have no evidence to prove at all. And you know what that's called when you tell somebody that? A lie. I don't care what you think you know. If you don't have a way to actually prove this is the thing, when you tell the next person, it's actually a lie. Because you have nothing to substantiate your claims. You're just telling somebody something that you made up in your head based off some circumstantial evidence that you think, or some hearsay. Because a lot of y'all going off of hearsay with shit. And hearsay is not submissible in court. It's not going to get you nowhere. Like, now circumstantial evidence, you can compile enough circumstantial evidence to prove somebody guilty. But still, you can come up with all the circumstances you want. If you have no facts about people, stop lying about them, please. Because you want to believe the story. Please, don't do that. It's not okay. Don't do that to people, man. Don't make up stuff. Trying to play games. Don't play games. It's not okay. It's not going to work. And it doesn't work. It just makes you like a fool in the end. Because the end will come and you will look very foolish. Because you wasted your time worrying about shit that didn't matter. That don't got shit to do with you. Whether it's true or false. So stop doing that. But anyway, shout out to, the whole gang, Cornerstone, you know what I mean? All my CCIP folks, I appreciate y'all. The new additions to CCIP. We growing, man. It's a machine. And one of the things that I do want to say is I got to join in my office, true power is to be able to empower people, And I look at it like, I know I have done that. I know I have done that. No matter how a person try to slice it, how anybody can try to make what they think about me, it's okay. It's okay. But I know for a fact I have empowered people on a lot of levels. And I'm going to rock with that because I love it. But this is the real thing about that. You have the ability to do whatever you want to do with the whatever empowerment that I gave you. You could take that and build something that has nothing to do with me at all. And that's my real thing. I was given an opportunity by Miss Marion, and Miss Marion got to come on the show. She was supposed to be coming on the show. We were supposed to be doing a series on housing and stuff like that. And we still going to do that because housing is still a crisis in America, period, but definitely in Philadelphia. And I got to keep reminding y'all, we broke in Philly. Like, we broke. Like, statistically, we're broke. We might look like we got shit going on, but that ain't even a real thing because I'm like, I watch how we move around. Look how I move around. It's kind of like a grimy look going on because this is such a poor city. And, you know, we tell ourselves these fantasies on Instagram and shit about money that's in the city, but it ain't. You know what I mean? And a lot of things we do is based off the fact that we are impoverished. A lot of that tension and anger and angst that we have towards each other, that come from being impoverished. If you notice, it's funny, like most people who tell you stories in Philadelphia, it be about some fucked up shit happening. Or something that's getting on their fucking nerves. Because you know everything irks us in Philly. Everything. Motherfuckers is irking me. We ain't here laughing and joke. That's irking you? We having a good fucking time and you're irked? You burnt out? Because Philadelphians, we be burnt. Everything burns us out. You burning me out, bro. This shit burning me out, bro. It's burning me out. Everything is burning us out or irking us, man. That's because we poor. I don't think y'all know that part. And poverty affects you in a very real way, and it's not good. So anyway, all I want to say about the being able to empower people, and that's another thing why that's important to me in this city. Because you have the ability to build your own foundation. And I know I've done that for people. And it's not even something, it's not a kudos thing. It's really like, it's an African thing. You know what I mean? Like, it really is. Is everything gonna turn out the way it's supposed to turn out in terms of relationships? I would hope that it do. But if it don't, I want to be left with, or I want to leave people with, even when we parted ways or we went our way, I know I left something positive. No matter how you anybody try to break it down, family, friend, whatever, I know I left something positive. However we stopped, we went our way. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't really be planning on going my way. Sometimes I just feel like, you know, you got to take a step back, man. You know, you got to refocus what you're doing. You know, and I was definitely, and I always will be in the community with my people on multiple levels, because there's a lot of levels to being there for our people in a real way. It's a lot of levels to it. It's a lot of places and roles that we gotta play on different to make sure that our people good, to make sure we pushing black people forward. At least that's my thing. That might not be your thing, but that's my thing. I'm trying to push black folk forward. Like, I'm trying to get us from being impoverished to being self-sufficient and not have to worry about what outsiders are saying when it comes to black people and how they living and what they doing. So that's a real thing for me. I'm gonna have to bring that. I'm gonna have to post that what I got in my office. Like, that's real power. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to influence anybody to be like me. I don't want to influence anybody to be with me. I just want to empower you so you can do your own thing. And when we come together as independent forces that's choosing to link up. You know what I'm saying? What's up, brother? I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? My brothers are shouting me out, man. You know, I feel good about it. I must be saying something that makes sense. But at the end of the day, it's about collaboration with me. So I'm going to always try, I'm going to always empower my people with every resource that I have. You know, always. It's like Ms. Marion would say to me, like, you know, when I first started telling her, like, how I wanted to work with my folks on any level, whether we doing housing, reentry, education, health, food, I'm more like, damn, I got to hold your hand approach initially. Like, I got to bring you into this. I got to show you. I got to walk you through it. And then we come up with an action plan. When it's time for you to move on your own, You got an action plan. So I actually walked with you through some things, told you about experiences, maybe mine, maybe other people, showed you where that information gap was at. Because she always talks about information apartheid. One of the things that is killing us literally is a lack of information on all levels. Information about ourselves, information about our history, information about politics, information about money, relationships. That's something that's that lack of information, and you never stop learning. Never. I don't give a fuck. You read 1,000 books. It's another book that you need to read. You know what I'm saying? And book information can sway. I'm not gonna say it can out. No, it can in times. Experience. Experience is very important. But some people don't understand the details of why their experience was how it was. That comes with information. A person who never went through that experience can actually read about, hear about, figure it out by listening to multiple people's experiences that are very similar. Listening to that, you can come up with a consensus of things. It's kind of like doing research. And even though you didn't experience that thing, you have an understanding about it that people who experienced it don't. That's a real thing. Experience does count for a lot. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, do you understand your experiences? Like, do you understand what you went through? I may be able to step back and say, okay, talking about the crack era. I didn't understand what they were doing as far as a prison industrial complex. I didn't know nothing about that, even though I was very much in it. On my way through it, I didn't know juvenile detention was a part of it. That was preparing me to be in a penitentiary. I didn't know that information as I went through it. I could tell you all about being in up Glen Mills and what that looked like. I can give you, but I couldn't tell you what the courts was actually doing, what family court was actually doing. I couldn't tell you how schools was attached. Me going to school was attached to me going to prison. I didn't know those things as I went through school, and I could tell you all the experiences of my schooling. You know what I mean? So I could tell you like, no, you don't know nothing about Simon Fells and what was going on. I do know. I know by the time you was in 4th grade, you was ready to check out of school. You didn't know that part though. You just knew you didn't want to be in school no more. But I know why. I know that you probably ain't had no black teachers, definitely no black male teachers. And it's scientifically proven the impact that a male teacher would have on a male boy, on a boy, especially a black man being my teacher and being in front of that class and showing me that information and having information and be able to lead and inform people was important for me to see from somebody that looked like me. But since you didn't have that, you didn't want to be in school. They ain't had no pictures of nobody that looked like you up in the school. You thought you just made a decision not to go to school because you didn't want it, didn't interest you, you didn't like it. Nah, it was things that was going on that made that more palatable. You could feel it like, yo, I don't want to be here. These people, you reading in these books, they not telling you nothing about yourself. They teaching you how to be a servant. Then when you bring in the actual real racial bias of having majority white teachers and white women at that, you don't understand the nuances of race. You just know that you're being treated unfairly, which make you not want to go to school. And then I ain't even get to the stuff that goes on at your home that's engineered. Maybe being a kid who mom is on welfare, your mom got to explain too much to the welfare people so you see it. Your mom play with the system so you think that's how the system is played. Your dad can't be in the house so your dad ain't around, but you don't know that about welfare. Only thing you know about welfare was food stamps or the access card. You didn't know the rules and regulations of it that was fucking with your family structure. So yeah, you could tell me an experience about welfare, but do you really understand what welfare was to your life? And that's those places where even if I didn't go through that experience, I would know more about your experience than you. Because I understand the other details that feeds that or why it was created. Like, you know, people go to HBCUs and talk about the great experience of being at HBCUs. And culturally, I would not take that away from them at all. But do you know the reason why HBCUs were created? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you understand why it plays out like that when it comes to HBCUs? And the funding and the alumni and how we send money or not send money back? So, you know, our experience is major. It's major. I have lived experience in a lot of different things. But until I got like that detailed book information, like I was explaining this today when I was at the farm, and we was talking about how capitalism gets to dictate who's dispensable and who's indispensable. And it usually ties to identity. It's certain identities that they characterize, and these people are important, these people are not. And then the people who have no identity, y'all just get used up. Y'all don't have nothing to stand on. Y'all don't have nothing to get together and defend. Because everybody kind of for themselves, because we not tied to anything. Sounds familiar? But hey, that's the thing. So I tell them, I'm like, they were saying how the prison industrial kind, these young kids, college kids, white kids, Latino kids, Asian kids, like they all in the mix, black kids in there, and I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? And I'm letting them know, like, y'all saying, yeah, they taking these people out of the neighborhood. And it's just like they're taking that. No, what they're doing is a transfer of wealth. It's not as simple as just locking somebody up. When you take this person and take them out of that community, whatever you said they was doing, they was somebody's boyfriend or girlfriend. They was somebody's father or mother. They protected somebody in this neighborhood. They made sure somebody in this neighborhood ate. They helped somebody keep bills on. I mean, keep the lights on, pay bills. Right? No matter what you was doing, you was bringing something to the crib. Even with just your presence. Now that resource, because that's what it is. Not the criminal is gone. Not we saving the community by taking all of these men out of the community who just don't know how to be productive citizens. Whatever the fuck that is. So now when I take him out of this community, whatever he could have brought to the community is gone. And we lose an additional person to add to whatever we're doing. So now, go, yeah, this is the best ever. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to start up. All right. So you take this man out of the neighborhood or this woman. And I'm telling you, they were a benefit to somebody other than themselves. No matter how you look at men and how they operate, black men, somebody I'm taking care of, somebody I'm protecting. So now that's gone. So you can't replace that. You know what I mean? You could try. You could try to bring another cat in that you don't really know. You got to get to know them. But that person, that man or woman is gone. So now they go into another community. And you're able to put them on the census. So that adds to their population in that town. This is not a person that votes. So they don't have any power, but you get resources for them. So you took him out of this community where whatever resources he was bringing is now gone. And he's a liability. Because not only is he gone, if anybody deal with him in any kind of way, it's normally a one-way conversation. You got to pay to go see him. You got to pay to be on the phone. That person needs food. He got a tablet, so he want to buy music. You feel what I'm saying? So you are a liability if you're in prison. It's just a reality. No matter how much you try to rock. And what for me, I try to have my presence in play by having information. All of these things that I talk about on the show and I talk about with people, and I like to have these conversations and it teach people and explain stuff to people. I started doing that in prison because I knew I didn't want to be a liability. So that's one of the reasons why I educated myself the way that I did. Because I'm not there. I'm not there for my daughter. I don't have money to send them. But I got information. And I was given good information, great information, shit that I really studied so that when I told folks, I knew what the fuck I was talking about, and I tried to tell it to you or told it to you in a way where you could benefit off of it if you wanted to. It was there about your health, about finances, about everything. And that was my way of not being a liability. But in the end, I still was because I wasn't out. Shit, I got a 25-year-old daughter that my presence was missed, and I see it. You know, I see it. I see it in our relationship. I see it in my family's relationship. I see it in so many different ways. Like, we really be missing, and it really affects our community. But in turn, we in another community they're again adding us to their census. They're getting more money for their county or town or whatever you want to call it. It's more money that they don't got to spread out amongst this new addition to the county, these prisoners. If you got 2 prisons in the county, you might have up to 7,000 new people in your county now that you're going to get resources for, that you can spread across your community. So now you're getting each person, if everybody was getting $1,000, now they could potentially be getting $1,200, $1,100, $1,500, however it's shake down. But that part ain't even the most deep part. Once you get more people added to your census, now you can possibly redistrict. And with redistricting, now you get another political representative to represent your county at Harrisburg. So now you got more force at the Capitol to push forward things that's going to benefit your county. And it's just not you no more. It's you and another person. So y'all could be working every part of the room, linking up with everybody y'all need to link because y'all got political force. People know if I rock with him, I'm getting 2 votes instead of 1. If I rock with that county, I'm getting 2 votes instead of 1. And that county has 2 representatives to argue their claims in court, basically, when they go to Harrisburg. So not only is it a financial resource power from the federal government with the census, but you also gain political power with our bodies. And we have no say in it because we don't vote in prison. But we count to your census. So you're getting resources from these additional people that you don't have to share. And because of this population growth, you can get another representative to represent you politically. What? And my community is starving. And then the other joint for me is like, and I tell people this a lot, is the 3 generations that I would see eating off of me while my family not getting nothing from me being in prison for 20 years. But I see 3 generations working because I'm going to be here for 20 years or more. And then you got the boys that come back. And my brother said, shout out to Dwayne. You know what I'm saying? I just recently met this brother down at the farm. I already know, like, you know, it's gonna be smooth selling, man. We all looking at things in the same way, and we all have our nuances and our idiosyncrasies that's gonna work for all of us. You know what I'm saying? We gonna build out. But he was like, you know, you got them revolving door folks. That ain't the name that he used. That ain't the phrase he used. Shit, I can't remember what the phrase was, man. But it's basically talking about dudes on a conveyor belt, like keep going back to prison. And I remember more than one guard would jokingly tell them dudes when they would come back, yo, you good job security. So it's not even something that's not understood by the people who are benefiting. You know, I routinely seen multiple family members working in the prison. What's up, Kev? Working in the prison repeatedly. And I would think like, damn, these people coming to work off of me every day, benefiting off of me. And my folks ain't getting nothing. Ain't nothing going back to my hood or the community that I quote unquote owe something to for doing what I did. Because that's another John that started coming up to me kind of funny. How I destroy the community when it was already set up to be destroyed by me. It was set up to be that way. And we got all the information, all the history. We know about redlining. We know about lynching. We know about Jim Crow. All of these things. We know how our people were directed to these neighborhoods when they was coming from the South. They didn't get to pick and choose where they was going to live. They got to live in old neighborhoods of another ethnic group who was considered to be, you know, above us because of whiteness. So if all this engineering happened and I was a result of that, why is my thought process I have to give back to the community after I destroyed it? I'm not saying any of my brothers that speak in that way are wrong, but I think we got to dig into that too. Because a lot of us didn't know. We just didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know about no prison industrial complex when I was a young boy. And I was smart from what they tell me. I was an honor student. I knew nothing of it. I didn't understand the way that the welfare told women that the fathers wasn't supposed to be in the house. That's one of the Jones that when I read it, because I didn't understand it when I was a young boy, when it was like, you can't stay here and all that. I'm thinking this is just relationship shit going on. Because, you know, we come, me at my age, I come from that real secrecy era. You know what I'm saying? And it's so funny because it play out with the children. And I say this joke a lot, like all of us is poor, but we don't understand that. We don't understand that poor folks operate basically the same. We all on the same shit going to this. You don't know that when you're a kid, again. So we will all be in the store trying to hide our food stamps. When if you understood information and statistics, and you had those outside details, you would know everybody in this community is under the poverty line or on the poverty line. We all on welfare. But since you didn't know that as a kid, you thought it's just you and a few other people, so you tried to hide your stamps. I could see by your clothes you on food stamps. I could see because your hair ain't cut. You feel what I'm saying? This is we understood the experience of being with the stamps. We didn't understand all the things that go on around it. We didn't know that the store owner probably laughing at all of us trying to wait till the last one to go to the counter. Because you don't want nobody to know you got stamps, but we all got them, bro. I watched it with my own eyes multiple times. Like, it would be funny. It's like going to the stand was a status symbol because we all was poor. So you can go to the stand if you got money because the stand got hot food. And they don't take stamps. They wouldn't even take stamps for the cheese doodles and cheese curls and shit on the side. You know, the shit clipped up on the joint. Y'all remember that shit. They still do it like that a little bit, but shit be getting stuck too much. But before, they used to have everything outside the stand. Just clipped up on the joint. You know what I'm saying? But that was a status symbol. I remember being on 52nd in Baltimore, walking to Turner. Me and my brothers, Boo, Med, John, Pork, Chris, Butter, like we all was walking to school together. No, Chris ain't go to Turner. Leave Chris out of that. I just added Chris because he was a part of our squad. But Chris went to Taggart, and then he went to Bach, like he was from South Philly or something. But how he was one of them busts. He got bust or something. But we would all walk to school, and going to the stand was a status symbol. You can get, and we used to get the same shit. This is how funny it was. Everybody would get a kibasi. Like, that's what we motherfuckers would buy. I don't know who started it. I want to say Boo was doing the shit first. But other dudes from other neighborhoods who would walk by and go to the store, like, that was a thing. And us selling drugs at those young ages, we could buy stuff from the stand. But I just say all that to say, like, it's a lot of intricate details in this thing. You know what I'm saying? That we need to pay attention to, and so we can understand that these things happen. So again, it's that engineering part. It's coming up. Like, I remember a lot of brothers in prison would be like, no, I knew what I was doing. And I'm like, bro, you probably, to be honest with you, you probably never had an independent thought in your life up to the time you went to prison. Everything you did was something that somebody else told you was cool or hip or thorough. You could see it in the crimes. Like, I would look at the crimes, like, what is my brothers coming in here about? And what are everybody else coming in here about? And we would come to jail. And that shit was like fucking trendy, where I remember in Pittsburgh, it was a lot of gang activity, Bloods and Crips. And I truly believe and understand that they really indicted that shit out of that town. And then that next generation just understood, like, that gang shit'll get you indicted and you'll be going to the feds and you'll be going upstate. Because I remember coming to jail in 98, and then by like 05, 07, it wasn't really no Pittsburgh gang members moving around the jails except for the old boys that was like before me and coming in around the time I came in. And then what you start seeing by like 2010, I say, and it might have been a little earlier than that, you stop seeing any Crips. All the Crips you was seeing was from Pittsburgh. And they had Bloods and they had Crips. And these motherfuckers was Pittsburgh boys on one side of the jail, Crip, Pittsburgh, you know, they had their seat wherever they be at. But then by the time 07, 08 came, it just starts being all Bloods. And this shit came from the music. This one, Wayne started talking about he was a Blood. It's an entertainment Blood, as I call him. And then all the little offshoot towns started having all Bloods. And it'd be like East Side Bloods and West Side Bloods. No Crips, though. You know, the Eastons and all those type of places. All the cats that was Bloods was coming from, you know, lesser known places like you know, and it ain't a lot of known places in PA, but Philly, y'all already know. Pittsburgh, you already know. York pretty much got a name. Reading, I say Allentown to a certain extent. Pottstown to a certain extent. And mind you, before I went to jail, I didn't even know these places existed in PA. The Johnstowns. I heard about Williamsport because that was like a rehab place. That's where folks was going to get money from. You know what I mean? Start selling drugs in the rehab towns. And that's something that was going on in a lot of these white towns because they didn't want to really tell people that crack was that crazy. So they just made them recovery towns. Like Pottstown. My first introduction to Pottstown was because this is where people went to go to rehab. And once people seen how motherfuckers came up off of Williamsport, they start trying, because us going out of town, I remember being, again, the music. I remember that was only a thing that the New York boys talked about. Going out of town. And then, you know, as the time went on and dudes start peeping at like, damn, you can go out of town and get money, but out of town wasn't out of state. You feel what I'm saying? So, again, a lot of the things that you do are engineered. They tell you gotta be a robbery boy, a drug dealer. We went through the B&E stage where everybody that was coming up was doing home invasions. Right before the home invasions, because crack started faltering in the money that you made, a lot of dudes start robbing people, lining people up. GPS shit became a real thing, following people's cars, putting the GPS on people's shit. But the thing about that hustle is, it never was that many dudes that was really making that kind of money. A lot of the dudes that was supplying everybody, they was in debt. They was down bad to whoever the connect was. Because none of us knew how to manage our money. So you took that consignment and you ran off with it damn near. Or you kept putting yourself deeper and deeper in debt, and then he don't want to stop fucking with you because it's like, damn, I got to find a way to get my money back somehow. I really don't want to just smoke you. Because now I'm going to be looking crazy because I had to smoke you. You had a couple Jones. Now you owe me. I probably owe him. You know, it really worked like that. And most of us wasn't in that lane. Most of us wasn't really nowhere near the real connect. And that's real rap. Like but it was an idea. It was a thing that we all thought was a way to get up, sell drugs. And then once the drugs start faltering, motherfuckers start robbing everybody. Before motherfuckers was burning everybody. And robbery was a thing, because I remember in Southwest Philly, like, you sit on your porch, motherfuckers was moving around like roaches as soon as it get dark. They ain't, you know what I'm saying? As soon as it get dark, I mean, motherfuckers walking around with their guns out. Oh, you listen, I'll be here tomorrow morning, too. Shout out to Nelly. I'll be here tomorrow morning. We gonna get busy. Y'all seen that, John? That advertisement? I like that. I need to start doing stuff like that. Look, this is what they do. This is what they do. They supposed to be working. And you lucky I don't have a camera. They supposed to be working. You ain't video nothing. Did you send anything to anybody? And this is not tiring work. It didn't make you so. I'm excited too. I am. For real. Y'all gotta have some no, I ain't gonna tell y'all how to do it. I'm ready for whatever. And I'm gonna be like ready, because it's gonna be first thing in the morning. This is an important thing. This is very important. And then I'm going to start my work day after I come here. So I'm going to be riled up. But we definitely got to keep linking. I appreciate all the folks who asked me to be on their show. Shout out to POC again. I know your show on Friday. Get with me. I'm going to keep tapping into you. I definitely want that real journalism aspect to it. I like getting that information. So, and then with the programming that I'm doing around PSA, I definitely want anybody that's thinking about podcasting or blogging, whatever you want to call it, like you definitely should have a serious journalism aspect of it, like a serious communications aspect to it. Like a lot of what I know, look, right on time. She must have been out there and heard me say it and was like, no, I'm going to step in right now. I'm going to step in when he say something about real journalism.
Right on point.
Right on point.
Listen.
Nah, I appreciate you. You already know. Come on, yes. Bring it in. Let me take these off real quick.
Yeah, love. Of course, you already know.
I might not be smelling too good. I was at the farm today.
Listen.
Getting grounded. Ain't that what they call it?
That's
the
real.
fake spiritual? He's like, no, I'm stop.
That's real though.
But it is a real thing. Take your shoes off. And again, shout out to Fan with to Stan with the re-entry farm because, yo, it's very cathartic. It's very therapeutic. So for somebody to come home from prison and go straight to where your transition is going to be is at a farm.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's going to be magical, if you want to say. It's going to be and I think Stan got a great idea, and I'm definitely going to be all a part of it. Sunny Brick is going to report on it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? We definitely going to bring her in. I got to get more information about how I utilize this black press part of my life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because people are inviting me to like different stuff. I want to make sure that I'm covering it correctly.
Right.
And and more than anything that I'm getting that information out that if you do so this is the first question before you get to introduce yourself, because she needs to introduce herself. But I have to ask this question because I don't want to forget. What constitutes you being black press? Like, what is the things you have to do to be able to say, yo, I'm black press? What are, you know?
Speaking and from a voice from that perspective, making sure that it's heard and conveyed, with that intent, with that purpose. Mm-hmm. I think that's all. And I think that to me, you got to be black too.
Oh no, definitely. But you know how people culture vulture stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's cool. No, this is hip. No, it's not hip. This is real life for me.
Yeah, no.
Anything that I got to say black anything is real life. I don't care how slick it sound, how like, oh, that's a dope, but it's real life for me.
And black is beautiful. Look at me, look at us.
Yes,
here, right?
Yes.
Yes. That is what it is.
Like, I know y'all mad. It's like
no, but that's real. So I just feel like that's with intent and with purpose.
Right. So if you are a blogger, could you say you was black press?
So I just had this conversation this morning to an extent. The world is changing. We got to grow and evolve with it. I don't see why not. Again, if you have if you're covering and you're reaching to your audience and conveying a message to your audience with that intent and that message to convey us in the proper way,
right?
Then I don't see.
Because we've evolved to data is the real thing. Like we have to have the data, but narrative. How do you explain? How do you explain the data correctly? With a narrative, with a storyline.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like
with
that data is just numbers. Right.
All of it.
Right. So controlling the narrative is the end all be all. But in order for you to tell an accurate story, we need the data.
Right.
It goes back to I was just talking about experience and then like I guess you could say like book knowledge. That's like what I was the word that's coming to me, but it's experience versus I don't want to say education.
I was about to say that. That's
yeah, because you know how we all lean on it. Like I was there,
right?
You know what I'm saying, and that's important that you was there. But did you get the whole situation?
Like the fundamentals,
right? The details. Right. How did you get there? Right, you have the experiences. What I was saying about like welfare. I didn't know about the dad thing when I was a kid, but I could tell you I had the welfare experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
I lived it.
It's so interesting because I just said that too, because I was just asking, is that a part of the purpose? Like, can families apply for assistance now? Like, is it, is there any hardship with having a family and trying to get that? So I was,
is that even, because you know what? I've said the thing about the dad so much that I will give you this. I haven't, and I work in this field, I haven't revisited it. Yeah. I haven't, our dad's allowed in the house now on what? We got to find that out. Yeah, that's somebody that's looking. I know I can probably go to my office and get it real quick. But if somebody knows, if you're watching Carlita, just somebody that's looking, are dads still not allowed in Section 8 housing, like welfare? Like, is that still a thing?
Or even as a family? Like
a family, yeah. Can we go apply as a family?
Right. And I know you can apply. Like, I know that let's say they can't say you can't apply as a family, right? But what's the red tape? What are they looking like? What are they using to hold us back from progressing as a family, from using certain resources that we need access to?
Now, before we get too far, can you please tell everybody who you are?
Sure, absolutely. So I am Safia Warrenmore. I am the editor and publisher of On the Scene magazine, a positive format magazine dedicated to everything from education, entertainment, sports, finance, fashion, business, but from a positive perspective, speaking in our voices, from things we've seen in our eyes.
And she is a friend of the show. She has been here. Have you been here 3 times.
I think
Is
this is my
your
third time.
Oh,
I think this is my third
yeah.
time.
Listen,
It is,
we have
yeah.
friends of the show. I know y'all mad. It's like, nah, y'all not mad at me.
No,
I know y'all love me. All
nobody
y'all.
They can't be mad because listen, I speak so highly of you. So when I was coming, I was like, look, y'all got to check the show out because it's always so informative and it's full of resource and knowledge. And I'm telling y'all know this all what I'm all about. I was all hyped. Like,
no, listen, yo, it is not like like I said, I was at the farm. They asked us like, what's the word? And I had just finished. What is the word that you take from being in the circle, being here at the farm, all that good stuff. So I'm like, I had just finished talking. So I'm like, I'm charged. I love to do this, yo. I love to, and I gotta go back and read, look through some of the books that I read, because you always got those parts of the book that stand out to you, and that's usually what you explain your information off of, and you'll kind of remember stuff as you talking. But the type of books that we read, that we have to read in order to
visit it, you pick up more gems.
Tell people that in order for you to be who you are, to tell people about information or properly tell a story, how much reading do you have to do? How important do you think reading was to you being able to do your job efficiently?
Reading was really fundamental, but listening was even more important because reading is phenomenal, right? We have to read, but we also have to be able to comprehend and also listen to our elders, because it's so much that I've learned from my elders, specifically my dad, but it's so much that we learned that we have to be able to comprehend, retain it, and regurgitate it without messing up the message.
Yes. But this my only, and I know people gonna be like, yeah, this is not okay.
What?
My only thing is is it okay for me not? And I know you're gonna be like, no, it's not okay. Is it okay for me not to listen if you don't know what you're talking about?
No.
And I gotta cut you off no. This is what you're saying is wrong.
I'm saying listen with intent, right? So and you know what? So I'll be so busy that I listen to audiobooks now. And so that's probably even where the context of me saying listening to in regards to reading, that's where that came from. But no, and that's something I'm working on because I don't know, because so I charge myself with making sure that I enlighten and educate people when I know I'm right and when I know what I'm talking about. A lot of people have, I don't know if it's a gift or a curse to let people just talk and they not factual, right? I feel like that's this whole society right now. Like nobody's fact checking, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's a challenge in itself.
Yes, no, that's real, because it'd be like people really be having these conversations with you and they be demonstrative about it, they be aggressive about it, and they'd be like, yo, but you so wrong, and then they'd be like, yeah, think you know everything, you want to be right. It's like, no, you just wrong. I'm sorry, you're just wrong. It's not, no, this is your opinion. No, it's not. I'm not telling you my opinion.
Right.
I'm not telling you when I tell you what I was saying about the transfer of wealth with black bodies. When you send somebody, you take them out of this community for crime, and you send them into another community where he goes onto their senses, he doesn't get to vote, they get additional money for him being there, and it gives them more political power.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? You can't sit there and tell me, nah, that's your opinion. What?
And it makes so sense. And I don't have the data, but it makes sense where when we have our elections and in certain areas who you might think are a little rural and not as populated, but those are where our prisons are too.
Right. And they have 2 representatives.
Yeah.
How y'all got this little piece of place in Pennsylvania? Y'all got 2 representatives because y'all got more people added to your census, because y'all got 2 jails that total about 7,500 people. That's enough to possibly get you redistricted.
Correct.
Because of your population growth.
Yeah.
When you housing all these people in one area, that's not real population growth. But it's having conversations like that, or racism is so crazy that they were racist in prison, with federal prisons. Read this book it's written by D'Amico Booth, and it's called Why So Many Black Men in Prison. And he tells about when they started indicting all of the gang boss and sending them to federal prison for the ringleader charge. They changed all of the things that they were doing in the prison where it was just mainly white dudes with white collar crimes or mobsters. So one of the things about federal prisons why they used to say that they were club fed is because one, you could make a livable wage.
Yep.
And a livable wage could be something like you make $1,000 a month. But you have no need for $1,000 a month in a federal prison. So now you can do one of 2 things, if not both. You could possibly send your family $500 a month, $600 a month, which is going to help them. But what it does for you is it maintains your role as a father, as a husband, as a pillar in your community. So you're not losing from being in prison. You're still very much present. You can still buy your kids stuff for Christmas. When school first start, you can buy some stuff for the kids, send them home. You could pay for your family to come visit you. They don't have to do that. And then you get conjugal visits.
And you can take care of yourself, because a lot of times that's the struggle that
Right.
we in the strike
Being
that
a
we
liability.
face, because exactly, we try and take care of the household and take care of our family member.
Exactly. So now you've allowed this man who you say is a criminal to maintain his role in his community, because the Fed allow you to make a certain amount of money. But then once the gang boys start coming, all the black people are coming. Now we ain't making that much money no more. The shops has changed. How they run the jail is all off of racism. You're even being racist in prison. Whiteness still gives you privilege, even, and it does in a lot of ways, because most of the white boys get whatever they need from the guards. You know, it is what it is. It's the person that you relate to culturally. You know what I'm saying? You came to jail, whatever. You got court. You didn't do anything wrong. You just got court. You know what I'm saying? You failed in your plan. You just got court. You didn't do nothing wrong. So it's things like that you would never know. And a person would potentially argue you down, like, what? They ain't changed. No. The feds changed because more black people started going to the feds.
Everything changes when black people
are
involved.
When the black people come, no. But I still love y'all. I love black people, man.
Yeah, it's not.
You ain't messing nothing up for me.
It's not even a statement towards black people. Actually,
Right.
It's more a statement
Nah, I just was messing
like
around.
I know you are, but for me, I just want to like really say it's like more of a statement of institutionalism and things like that.
And we institutionalized out here on these streets too. We believe a lot of things about ourselves that are not true, and we make them into cultural things that we do that are very destructive. You know what I mean? I was talking to somebody yesterday, right? And I remember matter of fact, it was this morning. I was talking to my man Kane, my man Trap Man Kane, my dog. You know what I mean? One of the CCIP boys. But me and him was talking. You know what I'm saying? We was gonna work out. Wound up going for walk downtown and everything. Cause he's like, no, we already out here. We might as well stay active. So we was talking about people getting their bodies done. Cause we seen like white women down there. He's like, oh, the white women. I said they running for their life, and he was like, he started laughing. I was like, nah. This is how they maintain privilege, by health is wealth. So we all run. We want to make sure we stay healthy so we can live our lives with all this privilege that we have. It's a real thing. So I was like, damn, it was a time when they was heavy on the body done shit. That was their thing. The fake titties, the fake ass, that was all they shit. Black women wasn't on it. They wasn't on it. And the funny thing is, they were getting these things done to look like you.
Right.
Now, they shifted it. They always been like healthy and all that, you know, they understand that information because of privilege. But now they more towards like, no, we in the gym. They still get plastic surgery and all that. But their thing is more, no, we work out. That's how we make our bodies. And now black women are the ones getting their body done and having savings for it and stuff. I'm not saying every black woman, but I heard it enough from women of different ages to know that it's an actual thing. Like you really having a savings. And then I was in Miami, and you know, Miami is what it is, but getting on a plane, seeing sisters, like I was like, yo, this is crazy. But the thing for me ain't even getting your body done. It's the way a person convinced you to do something that they were doing, but they were doing it to look like you. Now they've moved to a health trip. You trying to get your body done in the place of doing healthy things. It's just a crazy like cultural thing that happens, and we don't really be seeing it happening when it happened. And you decided to start getting your body done based off of white women who were actually looking like you, and nut-ass black men were so intrigued by it. When we talk about a Kim Kardashian, when we say you're enamored with white skin, black men are enamored with white skin with black features. I'm serious. And then when it got off of the white woman thing, we try to make it foreign. So you're yellow and you got the big curls, but you're not black. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. I hear you, but just as a fair-skinned black woman, I just feel like I understand everything that you're saying as far as the flattery of it all initially, right? But an imitation, should I say? But I just think I don't know. I think it's to each his own. I think that women. I think social media actually propelled it more than the thought of a black man. I think it's actually highlighted that that's what a woman should look like. Like every woman should have a 40 whatever inch whatever,
right,
and a 20-inch waist.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so sexualized and it's hyper. Like every guy, like that's what every man on social media is flaunting. Not every man, clearly,
Right.
but and I just think that it's unfortunate that people don't value their health enough to possibly die.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, because I
but to each his own.
Yeah,
because if that's what you want to do,
nah,
guess what?
definitely.
That's
I
what
talked to a young woman, and she was like, "We really need to inform women, like women." And she's somebody that has work done and stuff like that. And she was like, "Yo, I got into it when I really didn't understand."
Hold on, shout out to her. Shout out. That's the comment. Is that Nelly writing it?
I think so. Yeah. It is.
So shout out to you because yes, first of all, they filters. First of all, people not even showing themselves. Social media have you all messed up in the game, and it's not even like it's not even reality. Like
No.
none of it is reality. Like the people that you associate with is called friends, and you probably don't even know them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it definitely had you messed up in your head, like
Yes.
thinking that I was with you, sis. I thought I had to get it all done too, and I was just like, I had to check myself. Like, nah, this is not where it's at. Like, you cool. If you eat well, if you don't, whatever,
Yes.
you exercise, you're cool.
Yes.
Like you're good. What we not doing is this.
But I'm so glad. But I'm so glad she expressed that, and you expressed it because y'all women who have a certain amount of experience to maybe self-correct.
Right.
And in y'all case, it wasn't a maybe. But how many women, you know what I'm saying, is watching this and they don't have and because it becomes so faddish. That's my real point. Like, you're being pushed an idea that's not your own, but it's funny that the idea really come from you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But the way they pushing it to you is very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Because you 9 times out of 10, all right. 9 times, he just told me to wrap it up, B. He Dave Chappelle was like, no.
Wrap it up. I was just thinking about
So listen, I'm not going to say another word. We kind of have that conversation. What I'm going to ask you is, what do you believe your resource is? Like, what is the thing? I know you said you want to make sure everybody is informed. Is that the resource? But what do you think your resource is?
My community, my connections, my network. That's my resources because I make them work.
Right.
And I make sure that my resources are your resources in the network and my community. Like, that's the whole point of On the Scene magazine. My whole purpose is to be and I am a walking resource. Like,
exactly.
That's what I live to do.
See, that's why you got to have the assist in your magazine.
My magazine, you know?
The assist has to be in your magazine because this is what I do.
Right.
I'm a walking resource, yo. And like my major thing now, going to what you said, is collaboration.
Absolutely.
Like, we have to collaborate, yo.
Yeah, so and it's so interesting. I know we got to go, but real quick, check out onthescenemagazine.com. One of our latest articles came out a week or two ago when all the looting happened. It was literally, it was literally like the day the looting started, and we had already planned. It was editorial planned to how to get involved with like grassroots organizations. And there's so many ways for us to be involved and for us to help our community, but you got to know where to go, know where those resources are. So that's just one thing. And I just wanted to mention that we had, as of late, that would really impact, our community.
So going to that, and I don't want him to, because I was here early today, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to go ahead and get out on time. But the thing that I want to say not more than anything, but it's always appreciated because I remember when I first heard you talk about being Black press, but you talked about the journalism aspect and what we're dealing with in a lot of ways is information apartheid. That's something Miss Marion says. I may phrase it in a certain way, but that's like, for me, the best way to say it to people. We are dealing with an information apartheid, and you, one of the people's on the front, like, no. This is the accurate information. Absolutely. This is how, you know what I mean? And we talk about this at Eddie's house a lot. Like, information apartheid. That's what we trying to change. We need our people to have this information. And I appreciate you for being one of those folks that make sure we get it in a proper way for, Black folk, Black press. Absolutely. So this is PSA. My bad, y'all. This is PSA. Philly Service Announcement. Takeover Tuesday, Takeover Love, Support, Great Social Activism, Resources, and Art. Can you send them out with something?
Absolutely. Look, I just want to say, be great, be all that. We're going to help through information and be encouraging urban influence. Make sure we do what we're supposed to do.
That's what we doing now. We out. Shout out to the Cannons.